All right. So hash on that client. For added security, hash on the client, and then hash that again on the server. Hashing algorithms, bcrypt, and scrypt's the new choice. But it's new. It's only 10 years old. And then we did hashing passwords. And then we got into exploring HMAC because we have for a hash algorithm SHA-256 or SHA-512, but we were using 256. And then HMAC is a hash-based message authentication code.
Yep.
So it's a message that is signed, right? And we sign it using
some key in the HMAC.
And so bearer tokens in HMAC, bearer tokens added to the HTTP spec with OAuth 2 uses authorization header keyword bearer.
Yep.
Oh, that's interesting. That didn't show up on that list as one of the ones.
So yeah, authorization. So instead of basic, you can do bearer and have some token. And so like with OAuth, when you made that request to your profile from Amazon, that's what it was, is adding that authorization header bearer with the access token to authenticate.
Isn't this interesting though? But like here's the first resource that Google turned up for when I searched for a list of HTTP headers. It's like, here's the list. And then we look at authorization.
They're not going into any detail on it. They're just saying.
Doesn't give us bearer.
Yeah.
That's just like a simple example. So bearer tokens.
So yeah, MDN is the best place to look for anything web-based at this point.
And what does that mean to be a bearer token again?
A bearer token just means I hold this token, I must be authenticated.
Okay. To prevent fake, so it's kind of like a bearer bond in finance. You hold the bond, you're the owner. It's like cash.
Yeah,
to prevent fake bearer tokens, use cryptographic signing. Cryptographic signing is a way to prove that the value is created, validated by a certain person. And HMAC is cryptographic signing, correct?
Yep.
And HMAC in action, and discussing HMAC and HMAC 2. And then we jumped into JWT and explaining JSON Web Tokens. And so it's kind of like this thing where three parts are put together. And I love that example on this website here, jwt.io, where it shows us this is what it looks like when it's encoded, and that's encoded as base 64, correct?
Yep.
And then up here we have the decoded and the algorithm to create the JWT. And then the type says this is JWT.
Yeah.
Could it be another type, I wonder?
No, I think the spec just says you include that.
You must include it.
Yeah. So yeah, and the alg is what you use for your signature.
And then
the middle
payload,
section
the
is what you provide with a couple standardized things like timeout.
There's the signature.
And then the signature.
Yeah, and the reason somebody can't, because if they change this, then the signature, they wouldn't have the password that's necessary for H256 to recompute a hash algorithm on the data to get a different result. So, it would be a different result. If they change this, they couldn't get that and sign it with the same one because they don't have the secret, right?
Correct.
Okay, that's kind of just making sure that's clear. So documentation and claims, and so those are the claims in the middle there, correct?
Yep.
And there's standard claims and custom claims in the libraries we looked at.
Yep.
And creating and validating JWT, and overview of concept and rotating keys. And then we had discussion here on cryptography and hashing and signing. And I still don't feel like I have a solid understanding of signing, but I think I just kind of did it. So if I'm like here with JWT, here's the payload. And if I'm going to create some signature, I could use SHA-256. And SHA-256 is a hash algorithm. Will take some input and produce some output. Well, HMAC allows me to use SHA-256 and a secret, right? So I take my payload, I take the secret, I combine them, I then hash them with SHA-256, just making sure that my understanding is correct.
Yeah.
It gives me a unique thing. That's my signature. I add it to this. If somebody changes this and then tries to do a HMAC again with SHA-256, they don't have the secret, so they're going to get a different value. So when I get it back and I recompute, the value they gave me and the value I recompute are not the same because they didn't have the secret, or this was different. So without the secret, or if they change this data, that's going to be different. So when it gets back to the server, I compare, hey, not the same signature as the one I created when it was on my server, right? And SHA just does that one-way hash, but HMAC allows me to add a secret to it and then do the SHA, right?
Yes.
The one-way hash. Did you see the light bulb?
Yep,
Like, you know, starting to click a little bit. And so here we had the hashing algorithms, the SHA. Here we had the signing, HMAC, right, and a few others. And then we looked at AES for a little bit here, right? Didn't we
Yeah, the
do
next
something with
section is
AES? Oh,
next section.
And so when you do HMAC, we were using SHA-256, and then JWT uses HMAC and SHA-256 to get its signature, right?
Yep.
Nice.
Yep. Plus, you can use JWT with other signing algorithms too. That's why the which algorithm you use is in the JWT.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So
we only provided examples with HMAC, but you could use JWT with RSA or ECDSA.
ECDSA. I like the way you said that. I think ECDSA sounds much better than ECDSA. ECDSA. All right, and now then we jumped into exploring encryption. And so with exploring encryption, we did some base 64 stuff just to, like, you know, see things being converted to base 64. And we encrypted an email. That was kind of fun. I enjoyed that. And we did it with symmetric key, and we compared what was sent and received with SHA, the hashing algorithm. That was nice. And then we reviewed that, and then we did a review and overview, and then SHA-256 to file. And that didn't quite work out the way we were wanting. We got different results at the terminal than in our code.
Yeah, I
if
don't know
you
what
find
the
a
hash sum
solution for
uses.
that, go ahead.
I don't know what SHA-SUM does, but it does something else in addition. So
Yeah.
So because it adds something else to the algorithm, it's going to be slightly different than just putting the contents of the file in. Maybe adds the file name to it. I'm not sure.
Yeah. If you wanted to contribute to student code, something that illustrates that, and then you could put a little link, comment in your code with a link to a video if you want to kind of explain it, then other people could take a look at it. That'd be kind of cool if you have insight into that. And then we have authentication with HMAC, and so HMAC values into a cookie, and we did live share with VS Code, which is kind of good, and HMAC values into a cookie 2 and 3. That took a bit. And then we did authentication with JWT, and we kind of did this high level of it. And in retrospect, it's like, how did we spend that much time talking about this? But at the time, I was kind of like, what's going on? So that was nice. And then we did some hands-on exercises. That was hands-on exercises level 2.
Yep.
And
So
then
this is how we created that login system, registering and login,
Yeah.
and keep your session afterwards.
Yeah, that was great. And then we did the OAuth 2 overview, and that's all really fresh. And we had a little bit of confusion here, mostly, right, like
Namings.
what are the named parts? There's 4 main ones, but authorization code seems to be the most common for getting for login.
For
And
everything.
For everything.
OS.
For also just giving permissions. So a couple other names if you want to get into this, the details of it, but we were using the authorization code one.
Yep.
Oh, here they are: authorization code, password, client credentials, and implicit. And then we overviewed the OAuth 2 process and examined the OAuth 2, and then in action set up a server. And the main thing here is just kind of like, for me, understanding the flow, which we started to sort of detail out in the hands-on exercises, and what the different parts were. And so I'm glad we made all these notes through here, like this goes that goes this comes back here, and then testing it all. So I think that was some really good stuff. And when we get down into, I guess the review, this video is already pushing up on 18 minutes, but I think maybe in the congratulations sections we could talk about how you can use what you've learned, how it's really valuable what you've learned. All right, you have any more to add to the review?
No.
So that was great. I liked going over particularly that difference between hashing, signing, and JWT, kind of bringing both of those together into one piece, and seeing how SHA does hashing, HMAC does signing, among other systems, and JWT kind of compiles it all into one base 64 string, which can be the header, the payload, and the signature. Thank you, Daniel.
Yeah.
Nothing more to add?
Not to this
All right.
video.
See you in the next video where we'll show you how to share your creations.